Something that you've talked an awful lot about that you said in our last interview that you wanted to bring to the office of CFO, particularly with regard to fiscal management, was transparency.
Correct.
Which is a big word.
Big word, right.
But what did it mean to you specifically, and what has it meant to you in terms of what you've tried to do as CFO?
Right. You and I already touched on this earlier about the trust in the people of Florida or in America about with their government. Transparency is defined as accountability as far as I'm concerned. I'm accountable for every decision I make on behalf of the taxpayers of Florida, particularly when I deploy their money to meet a need that they have, because that money could stay in their pocket if I weren't taking it from them as a public servant or as an elected official. So the transparency we're working on now is, we covered that 60% of the entire state budget is delivered in the form of a contract. We are creating the Florida Accountability Contract Tracking System, FACS, and hopefully it'll be up and moving sometime later this spring, where every one of these contracts will be online. So imagine that, Steve, that every Floridian, every vendor who would like to compete for the work will see the specifics of that contract. We'll see what the price point was. We'll see what the deliverable timeline was. They can be saying, well, why don't we get involved? We could actually do that for less money. We could do that faster. We could do that safer for our fellow Floridians. Get in there and compete for the work. Drive down the cost. At the very least, put it online. And so that every Floridian doesn't have to travel to Tallahassee, doesn't have to do a public records request, doesn't have to wait and wonder. They can go online and see how we're spending their money. And I'm telling you, when that goes online, the quality of those contracts, the quality of the decisions that are made in Tallahassee, the care of that decision, understanding that they're about to put online how they are choosing to spend the people's money, you're going to see hundreds of millions of dollars saved.
Have you received any pushback in terms of this idea?
There is a lot of pushback. But what I need to say is that the governor and I are on the same page. He wants transparency. Okay. He wants to see every bit of information made available. But I can tell you, all those vendors that we speak of, all those people who are wanting to provide services, they're not the least bit interested in seeing the way they negotiated their contracts with the state put online. And so there's a lot of people in this town who are pushing back, afraid that someday I'll actually put a contract online that they negotiated with the state of Florida, and the state of Florida will see what they're getting for the money that they're getting and what they're delivering. And but I'm not going to stop fighting. I want that online.
It's possible also that some of the people in the state of Florida who negotiated those contracts might be nervous too. It'll put everybody in the spotlight, which citizens might like.
I think the citizens expect that they're going to have competitive bids for every contract, that vendors can get in and compete. They can sharpen their pencil and they can get the most competitive price. I think the people of Florida wonder whether certain members of government who have been in positions have friends who are providing services, and they just always seem to give the contract to that friend. We can put all that to bed. Transparency is accountability. And when you put that online, you're not afraid to say, this is the decision I made.